So what we like to emphasize through our program is the idea of science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So it's like, who do you want to be when you grow up? So growing up, the woman who inspired me a lot was the Indian American astronaut Kalpana Chawla, because I envision a world like in which it does not matter what background you come from or what you.
Everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel. I'm hasinilakshminarayanan. If you're new to the channel, this is the First Step YouTube channel where I interview young achievers. Now, if you didn't know about me, just to give a small introduction, I'm hasinilakshminarayanan. I'm 13 years old. I'm from Chennai and I study in Chettinad Vidyashram. I am a young nutritional ambassador for the Government of Tamil Nadu Integrated Child Development Services. I am also a TED speaker and a freelance writer for the Hindu School edition. Now, the first step is also being supported by the CIT, Chennai Institute of Technologies, which is the #2 engineering college in Tamil Nadu, India. And now to interview and welcome our guest for the day without any further delay. We have Vaishnavi today here. So I'm very, very excited about having a conversation with her because she is she runs an organization which aims to break the gender barrier between women and men, and they are also involving tech practices over there to be and make the world a better place to live. So her initiative is named Salubrious. So, and she is also a public speaker and she's soon to be an author, so best wishes for that too. And she's very much into technology. She's a young innovator and she's an entrepreneur too. So we kind of have so many similarities in between us, because I can see hearing from her that she also started an initiative somewhere around the pandemic as well as I did. So this just makes me more curious to learn about her and her initiatives. So without further delay, let's welcome her to the show.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
So to begin with, I can really tell you that entrepreneurship is a fascinating subject to learn about, and social entrepreneurship, on the other hand, is something which I've been following, and I can see that you are too. So, what really prompted you to get into entrepreneurship, and what attracts you the most about it?
And to begin with, for like my innovation journey, for using innovation to solve global challenges and for social good, it really began like there was not one specific moment for that. It was like I've always been derived towards technology and I've always been derived towards using it for social good. So like seeing problems around me, I always want to like create solution, and coding is something I'm passionate about. So I kind of like to like combine both of them and bring a interdisciplinary approach to it, and that really gives me joy and really like keeps me up at night, if you say that, like makes me sleep deprived. So that's what something is that began with like my innovation journey. For Salubrious, I have a really a story why I really started Salubrious, because initially I had no idea that I'm initiating a non-profit organization. So Salubrious originally started as a blog and like as a normal newsletter. So for the Salubrious story, let's rewind back to my middle school years. So the most popular question that comes up always like in middle school, even till now. So it's like, who do you want to be when you grow up? So growing up, the woman who inspired me a lot was the Indian American astronaut Kalpana Chawla, and I've always considered her as my role model and like always wanted to be an astronaut just like her. And looking up at her, it felt like safe that if she did it, I can do it too. That's why that presentation matters, because you see someone like you and you're like, okay, she did it and she's just like me, so maybe I can do it too. So now fast forward to high school, I started realizing my love for coding and started acknowledging the fact that I'd always been scared to dream of a career in tech because I had no one to look up to, like no mentor and no role model. Like I had looked up to Kalpana Chawla in the astronautical field. The only names that were said were of white and Asian men. So I also started observing that, different discrimination that was made in this particular field. Like the coding tutoring organizations in India were always gender biased with their content, resources, and opportunities. It was like everyone is obvious with the fact that like tech industry is specifically for boys. And at that point I was like, whoa, this just not feels right, nothing here feels right. um, yeah, I don't know like what's going on, and I realized that in area where tech is so accessible, we see these really enormous disparities on who is really accessing those opportunities. And so like I used internet as my best friend at that point and started looking up for women in tech, which brought me down to the fact that there are wonderful women making impact in this male dominated field, but they're hardly acknowledged, and young girls like me who want to join this field lack support, resources, and mentors. So I started interviewing women from the tech field and then slowly to the entrepreneurship field as well, and started publishing them as blogs with the Salubrious website. And then we grew into a nonprofit organization with 100 plus volunteers from 30 plus countries, and we have impacted 50,000 plus students across the globe
great.
with our workshops, events, and social media. So growing up, I think I subconsciously developed that image of a techie with like a minimalist clothing, jeans, and like one t-shirt, and someone who coded 24/7 and was socially awkward. But like now perspectives change. Even like once interviewed a woman in tech who is also a supermodel. Like she has won the past Californian women models, something like that, and that really like keeps me inspiring and motivating to do what I do.
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm amazed. To begin with, you look so like Kalpana Chawla, with especially the your face. Talking about it just looks so similar to her, and yeah, of course, she's a very big inspiration for me as well. But I mean, even I never knew that First Step was growing up into a channel, and to see it in your case, it's just that when you're in a stage that you just like what you're doing, you never know what's even going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm very very happy for you. So yeah, that's really exciting. So yeah, tell us about the organization. If what it generally aims for, that's, as you mentioned, to break gender barriers. But how does the organization function, and what does that word mean? Because I maybe I didn't know, maybe many people knew about it. I just want to ask this for my personal clarification. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, that question comes up to me a lot. So firstly, I'll tell you like I also have a story behind why I named it Salubrious. So back then, like when these whole like things happen with these events happened with me, like that kind of motivated me to start Salubrious. So I was like actually watching an interview, like I guess on YouTube, and it was like a person was just asking. There was an interviewer, and he was like interviewing a man who did not send his girl child to school, but he did send his like boy to school. And then he just asked, it was like in a village in India somewhere, and he asked him like, why don't you send your girl child to school, like it's equally beneficial. So, and he was like, he said it in a very sarcastic way that, oh, it's not healthy for her, like your sehat ke liye kharab hai. He said like this. And so that's when I came to me like, education is important for everyone, regardless of our backgrounds or regardless of our gender, sexuality. So a Salubrious actually means something that is healthy for it does not mean like something that you can eat and that is healthy. that's totally different, but something like that is like sustainably healthy for the environment or for like the global. So that's how I came up with the names. It was like just a random thing, but I really felt like the connection with the name, and I just picked it up and it was like, okay, Salubrious. And for what we do at Salubrious is like I told, the mission is to educate, inspire, and empower the youth, to enter the male dominated fields and break that gender barriers. Through the Salubrious program, Salubrious aims to help extend these opportunities in these male dominated fields. Like currently, we're focusing on tech and entrepreneurship, and to underprivileged communities in the youth sector. Among the programs on diverse is like Tech Connect. Tech Connect is one of community development initiatives of Salubrious that aims to tie, that is, teach, inspire, and engage, TIE, with students through sustainable outreach, education, and empowerment. The first leg of Tech Connect initiative was launched last August. The August 2020, like 2nd August, we launched it online due to the pandemic. And that since then, we have been continuously hosting workshops on tech and entrepreneurship, and having women in tech be the speakers and mentors, and like connect them with students who really want those opportunities and that guidance that they're lacking. So what we like to emphasize through our program is the idea of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that is STEM X narrative, where we teach STEM in an applicable fashion, not a theoretical fashion, like to amplify the notion that STEM is a force for good in a variety of ways, regardless of what you're passionate. For example, it could be STEM X arts or STEM X humanities. So it's like we try to teach these basic STEM concepts, and while tying in an aspect of social entrepreneurship and tech leadership in every program.
That sounds like a whole lot of responsibility for you to handle, and really happy to know about it, because of course, today I can see, having said interviewed about 90 plus children, I can see a lot of people who support SDG goal number 5 and who speaks out for it, but I feel like your initiative is pretty unique. Starting out with its name, Salubrious, right? I guess I've got it right now. Of course, it's pretty much sounds that the initiative is very making it eco-sustainable for the society for it to develop better. And best of luck for you to do more initiatives and to inspire millions of youth around the world.
Thank you so much.
Best wishes. Moving on, I would request you to talk about your podcast too, and I am pretty sure that people know about the Sustainable Development Goals. If not, Sustainable Development Goals are from UNICEF. So these are set to be achieved by 2030. There are totally 17 goals, and the 5th goal states about gender inequality. So why did you especially want to take women empowerment as an notch? So that's my question.
So Salubrious Talks it's like a series of talk that's centered around young people that are using tech, or just like are acting to achieve United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. And the podcast will be launching itself in the March end. So every per session we will be having a guest, like a change maker who was using their digital media presence for good. And like this is Salubrious's way of supporting the UN's vision for a better world. Yeah, that's pretty much about Salubrious Talks podcast. We're still very much working on it, and like pretty much planning to have some amazing guests. So I'm really excited for that. Why I started to like what really impacted me, like to start with the SDG goal 5, was because I envision a world like in which it does not matter what background you come from or what you look like, and everyone is treated equally. I imagine like people working together engineers working together, maybe sitting across from each other, and there's a diverse set of skills, a diverse set of backgrounds, people from all different socio-economic levels, people of different sexualities, different ethnic backgrounds, all coming together to solve the problem that our society faces today. There's so many things that I feel like is very gender biased, even in India. But one of the very big issue is the pay equality, the gender pay gap. Men and women be paid the same if performing the same job in the same organization. So according to the Monster Salary Index, the MSI, published in March 2019, women in India earn 19% less than men. And the gender pay gap spans across key industries. Like the IT services shows a sharp gap of 26% in favor of men. So basically, my approach is to make the male dominated fields more inclusive, not just for like a particular gender, for everyone regardless of their background, like socioeconomic unprivileged people, to make it like very, very inclusive and diverse, so that every perspective is equally valued, to make the world more sustainable.
Definitely. I mean, this sounds very inspiring to me to begin with. And, seeing this, if there is one advice you'd want to give to the youth, that's aspiring girls who wants to become a part of the male dominated career fields, like, there is a myth probably saying that just one girls don't do the best in sports as well as men do, or girls don't do best in business as men do. So if there is any advice you'd want to pass on to the younger generation watching this video, what would that be?
I love this question. A piece of advice I would give to any young girl that wants to go into any dominated career field is to like simply remember that by being you, showing up, doing the work, adding to that representation, you are paving the way for future girls to envision these careers in any field without any lens of a gender stereotype. To me, that's meaningful, because I hope that the work we are doing at Salubrious ensures that the younger generations face less of an hurdle in pursuing careers regardless of what gender they used to be tied to it. Now, it can be for any career field. It could be also a career field which is like specifically considered to be more female dominant. So I want to make sure that that representation matters. With that said, I know that pursuing male dominated fields could be a hard task, and you might not receive a lot of support from your immediate community. Know that communities like Salubrious exist online and are here to help you and support you in case you need any resources or people to bond with. I think communities are there. All you need to do is look them and find them. And lastly, like regardless of gender, remember the inherent privilege of having an internet connection. Like we have 700 million Indians, that being around 50% of the Indian population, who don't have an access to internet connection, making it to the highest number of disconnected people globally. So I'm constantly reminded of having that privilege of being able to talk to you, for example, online, and being able to communicate with other people globally through the internet connection, and doing like so many sort of work. Even like in the COVID pandemic, we have seen how important an internet connection can be. It's hard to remember that's not like that for everyone. Just be conscious of the privilege you have by having access to tech, and maximize it and use it like to create social change within your little pocket of the world. Yeah, that's my advice.
That's brilliant. I mean, I don't know how to express it, but I feel like this is a very powerful message which not only women but men should also carry forward to
Yes.
give out more opportunities to people and not have this gender barrier in between. And one last question, if I can say, and then we are going to move on. So, yeah, what are your future plans?
For the future plans, for my personal future plans, I have no idea where I will be in 5 or 10 years from now. But like I do know what I want to do for the rest of my life. It feels like a bold statement to say at the age of 15, but I truly believe in that. While I can't draw out a roadmap or detail the concrete milestones that I want to reach, I know like what future I want to work towards is that like every single Indian youth, regardless of gender and socioeconomic status, can use technology to make a difference in society. It does sounds like a faraway goal to many, maybe a dream, but with the work of my team and I do every day, I feel like the future gets closer every day to being a reality. For the future plans of Salubrious, we aim to do the same. That essentially motivates us. We often get asked actually, when does the work at Salubrious stop? So is it when we get a 50-50, 50% for each of the gender in in the industry? And we say like yes, but no, because yes, we want to get it to a 50-50, but we don't want it just to be like the middle to upper class 50%. We need it to be like a diverse 50%. And I think we'll only get there with the right infrastructure, the right curriculum, the right resources, the right teacher training to get the curriculum taught. It's like a lot of different puzzle pieces that need to come together. So we want it to be like a diverse group of people, regardless of whatever their background says.
I mean, that sounds really cool, and also, looking forward to it. I mean, I'm visualizing it. It sounds really magical. So, I mean, I have great faith in you that you will be able to achieve what you just mentioned about, and best of luck for that, and best of luck for Solvers to wish and achieve all it aim for. So now moving on, yeah, of course, you've talked about. A lot about youth empowerment, women empowerment. You've given out some powerful mantras and messages out to the youth. But if there is something you'd want to change in this society, what would that be? And also, yeah, talk about your future plans. Over to you.
Okay. So one thing that I would like to change in the society. So like I guess there's so many things that I would like to change, but to begin with, I think our generation specifically is facing so many problems that we have never seen before. But then at the same time, we are also facing some old problems that still exist, like for example, the gender inequality. Like we're sitting here, been through a global pandemic, flood, and we're still facing human rights issues. There are problems that we did not create, but now we have to solve them, like climate change. This wasn't like existing over the time, and like cyberbullying with the introduction of technology. So one thing that I wish to change would definitely be that the young voices should be heard and let young people do the talking. So as for youth, I think we should I think like sometimes that this kind of discrimination I also like have personally received and have personally developed is like people underestimating your work because of your age, right? Because they're like, okay, you're 15, what you will be able to do, you should be school by this time. So that's very much small of a word. So I think like people should let the young people to take the charge and to, because we are the people like who will be facing most of the problem 10 years ahead. So I think that's one thing that I want to change is like letting youth do the conversations and have the seat at the table. Yeah. And like for the youth also, I think like more than anything right now, they need to find that one thing that you are passionate about and solve it. Even if it's like as small as just finding an easy way to pick up the litter, everything makes a difference. So do something you're passionate passionate about, and the rest will follow, like you said before.
Definitely. I mean, this is exactly what I pass on in the first step. So, I mean, apart from the age criteria, definitely people have this myths, or let's say a belief, in according to my perception, that age can create a huge impact and difference, but not what a 35-year-old can do also is expected to be done by a 6-year-old or even a 15-year-old. So there isn't any kind of limitations to anybody in this world, and everybody has rights to everything. Especially all Indian have rights to do whatever they wish to, because that's the law. Now, to begin with, and also it gets annoying when someone is going to ask you if are you an entrepreneur just at 13? Why are you being so surprised?
Yes, exactly.
It's common. And one motivation which I also take back from today's interview from you, Vaishnavi, is that youth can also pursue different fields at such a young age. And the first step towards that is to find out what your true calling is, and just give it a notch. You don't have to worry about will it work out.
That particular first step is like really important.
Really important, and ensure that gives you happiness, and that should be it. I guess today we made a lot of learning, which includes me too, and I hope the viewers and listeners enjoyed. I hope all of you watching the interview enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share it with few of your friends, motivate them, because this is an amazing interview and one of the best interviews I've ever had. So just to mention that.
Thank you so much.
I'm really glad to have you here. Thanks for being here today and sharing the platform.
Yeah, and even the channel First Step really empowers young people to bring up their passion outside, and it's been an amazing place to be at, and really fun to have conversation with you.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that from you, and very pleasing. Thanks for that. Moving on, I'll see you next week, guys. Signing off, it's Vaishnavi here and Hasini. Ta-da, take care, bye-bye, stay safe.
Bye.